All right, everyone, welcome to the Lounge Weekly. It is May 31st of the beautiful year 2021. I know that is up for debate. Still, as you can see, my backdrop is just a little bit different. I am on a retreat with some of our incredible interns at the church that I work at. Here is Michael posting up. And so I'm excited to get into this today. It is a continuation of what we discussed last week regarding team motivation. We talked about part one. I believe we covered 7 points. I want to cover points 8 through 15. There are 20 something points to this. And again, I want to give credit to where credit is due. I got this teaching from indeed.com, and I say yes and amen to every single point. So let's have a good time. Team motivation part two. Once again, indeed.com. All right. Number 8. Jump right into number 8. Share feedback. Now, this might look like in the form of some sort of quarterly eval, um, you know, weekly evaluation, not being afraid to, or not being timid or hesitant or reserved to confront a staff member. I was just talking to one of my guys over here, and I know something about Michael is that he he has what we've talked about before, that growth mindset. He wants to continuously go to the next level. That's why he's a part of the lounge. That's why you're a part of the lounge, you know. And so one of the things that we have to do, and me as a leader in his life, as a mentor, is I got to be sure that I am not reserved when it comes to my confrontation. Now, confrontation doesn't have to be a bad thing. If I come at him harsh and aggressive and inconsiderate and unempathetic, that's the kind of confrontation that we we equate confrontation with altercations. And it doesn't have to be that way. When you have a team that has this growth mindset, they want feedback. They want you to confront them. They want you to be honest with them in their performance, in their attitudes, etc. Because they want to grow, especially if they're bought into the vision. They want to know what would it take for them to go to the next level personally, to be able to feed that vision all the more. So share feedback. I encourage you to have some type of system in place to where the staff knows that these evaluations are coming. On our staff right now, we do a weekly accountability forum, and I do my best to respond to those who have filled out the forms and give them some feedback. Maybe equip them with some things to go home with. Maybe these two things I can work on. I had a couple people ask me last week, which I love this question, by the way. They asked me, what are two things that I can work on in my performance? And by the way, that is an incredibly attractive question to a leader, and it shows so much about you. Sometimes they might have something, sometimes they might not. I'll say most of the time they will. But my point is, people who you are leading, share feedback. You also want to test their coachability a little bit. When I say test it, not because you suspect that they are not coachable, but put it to the test a little bit. See if they are continuously walking in that coachable spirit, because that's an incredibly attractive thing to a leader. And you need team members who are coachable. If you have team members who are not coachable, it might be a good time to have the conversation before the conversation, confront them about it, let them know they are being perceived by you personally as not being able to take feedback, criticism, constructive criticism, of course, not being able to be coached. And if they can't adhere to that and make certain moves in their life and performance, then it might be a good time to maybe transition them from the team and find another spot. So share feedback. It is incredibly valuable, especially when they really respect you as a leader, respect your seat, respect your position, respect your performance, and you as a person. When you give them feedback, it is golden. It might hurt a little bit, to their flesh for just a few moments, but at the end of the day, they'll be so grateful that you gave them feedback. I am who I am today because of feedback. It's not by happenstance I've become whoever I've become. It's because I've had leaders in my life pull me into, and bosses, CEOs pull me into rooms and be very honest about certain things in my life. So, number 8, to continuously keep your team motivated. It communicates value to them when you share feedback. Okay, that's number 8. Number 9. This is a very fun, practical one, but you'll do anything to keep the team motivated. It's important. You want them to feel this sense of fun and joy and motivation and inspiration. So number 9, make office improvements. It's a real fun one. Throw up some art. It's a thing. It's a momentum issue, right? Motivation, momentum. They work hand in hand. When you when they sense momentum, when they sense momentum in your organization, they're motivated. When they're motivated, there is momentum. Motivation pays back in momentum. So make office improvements. Do a little quick renovation. Throw up some new paint. Put up some new art. You know, if you say I don't really know my aesthetic, what you can do is always take some of your code of ethics, or no, be more of a culture code type thing. Some of your mantras, your mottos, your statements, and just get those branded real nice and put them up all around. We used to have them in an organization I used to work for. We used to have them in the floor, in the flooring. You would walk down the hallways and you would see it in the flooring. It was incredible, and it reminded everybody who you are and what your culture is about, and some of your values. And so, and by the way, if you don't have a creative eye, don't just be the one to jump in there and try to paint and create some type of aesthetic. Pass it off to the creatives. Maybe get them involved in the conversation. That is motivating as well. So make office improvements. It goes a long way. It's super fun. I do this personally in both my offices. I continuously put up new things. I move furniture. I've had every single furniture layout in my offices that you can imagine. It keeps the momentum high. It keeps it exciting. Keeps it fresh, and those things fuel motivation. So make office improvements. Number 10, encourage breaks. Oh my goodness, encourage breaks. In the industry that I'm in, for the majority of my life, is vocational ministry. And by and large, we are not encouraged to take breaks. Now, that doesn't apply to the organization that I work for, the church that I work for right now, because we do encourage breaks and healthy living and lifestyle, and rhythm in life. But I have been at places to where, um, I've been in careers, I've been even in churches to where breaks are not encouraged. I encourage you to go and take breaks. There's a book that I read, and I'm going to go back and read it. It's kind of opened up my mind a little bit when it comes to my leadership, CEO philosophy. And it's a book called "It Doesn't Have to Be Crazy at Work." And the founders of Basecamp wrote it. Now, chew the meat, spit the bones, glean what you want to from it, but it broke me out of the box of what a 9 to 5, of the 9 to 5 work schedule. And so, anyways, just a really nice resource. They are like 2-page chapters, really easy read, but you really see their philosophy when it comes to why they encourage breaks so much. And so you want your staff members to be with you for the long haul. You don't want them to work for you, get wore out, have a bitter taste in their mouth, and have a complete misperception of your heart. And so let's be sure that we have a good break rest culture. So number 10, encourage breaks. It'll mean a lot to them, and especially if they have families, it goes a long way. Number 11, allow remote work days. You can do something like Mobile Monday, because you also want your staff members to be out there in the public, strike up conversations with baristas and cashiers, and just be out there, maybe even wearing some merchandise or something like that. You want them to be out. You don't want to just hoard them in your workplace. And so allow remote work days. And let me just say this: the millennial generation, I'm one of them, and Gen Z, uh, they oftentimes can thrive in a setting like this. Now, it's not everybody's personality. There are some creative and writing days that I need to be remote, and there are some days that I my personality says you need to be in the office and head down and doors shut and complete silence. And but I wouldn't say mandate mobile days. I would just say encourage or allow remote work days. Okay, so it goes a long way, and it also shows them. Let me say this: anytime that you can communicate that you trust your staff, that they're being integrous and diligent with their hours when you're allowing them to work off site, it means a lot to them. Now, I would say at least for a while, have some sort of productivity accountability. Just as a general protocol for maybe a few months with your staff. We used to do that. Organization I used to work for, we had an accountability system. We ran base camp, and we also had like a time tracking system on our phones, an app that really tracked our time management. Anyways, some type of accountability system up front might be nice just for you to, especially if you've never had a mobile culture, it might be good just for your peace of mind, and that's completely okay. But anyways, number 11, allow remote work days. Still waking up here. All right, number 12, publicly recognize employees. I don't think I have to say much more on this point. I think it's very clear when you can post about your employees, when you can honor them publicly on a microphone, whether it be figurative or literal, in a staff meeting in front of the staff. Man, it goes a long way, especially if they are a word person like myself. You know, anytime somebody shouts me out or just honors me, it just speaks deeply to my heart. And so publicly recognize employees. Um, and it will also communicate to other people who might be interested in joining your staff, because you want to have a staff culture and a staff and a vision and an organization that people dream of working for. And so if you have this thing where you are publicly recognizing your employees, other people see that, it's all the more attractive to people. So you're literally recruiting, you're drawing people uh, to the vision and to the culture when they see that you are a culture of honor and recognition and celebration. Okay. Number 13, this is a fun one. Start a competition. You can gamify, you know, things on your staff, start a friendly competition. I think that's just fun. It's just fun. Okay. So figure out some creative competition. Maybe it's, you know, you pay for a date night up to $100, $200. It goes a long way, you know? And you would be amazed what the type of motivation that could be funneled into your team when you just have a friendly competition. It's fun, even if it's for a coffee gift card. I mean, it's amazing what millennials like myself would do for free coffee. You know, I can afford my own freaking coffee, right? But it's just amazing what we would do. It's fun. Again, this is motivating. Okay, start a competition, and it could be something even as like employee. We used to do employee of the year, the highest performer. We would send them and their families all expense paid on a domestic vacation, and so that was extremely motivating, right? So that's number 13. Number 14, get to know employees. It shows them that you care. You want to have a culture of care. You might have heard this before, but they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. It shows them that you truly are invested in them. And also, I'll say this as a benefit of really being in the trenches as much as you can with your team. It's your team, it's your unit. You know, they're the ones moving the vision forward. But for me as a communicator, here's a perk. It's not why I do it, but here is a perk. The more that I'm around people that I lead, the more content I'll always have. I will never run out of content if I'm around people. As a preacher, if I feel like when I mentor somebody and they are a younger preacher and they are running out of content, the first thing that I ask them is, have you been with your people? It keeps your heart fresh. It keeps you in touch. It keeps you empathetic, right? So get to know your employees, and then also it'll communicate to them, or it will show you as their leader how to serve them better. Because again, we value servant leadership. So if a guy named Chad that works for you, if they have a son that has a Michael loves that name, Chad. He's over here laughing at me. Wow. My bad. I set myself up. Forgive me. Chad, if you're watching this, man, we love you. Um, let's say Chad has a son that has a Saturday morning game. Even as practical as you not contacting Chad, at 10 a.m. on Saturday mornings because he's at his son's baseball game. Or let's say that Jessica has is struggling for paying for her education, and if you don't have an educational budget, I encourage you maybe even to put that in some of your benefits. But let's say that they're struggling, or they have a dream of taking an online course to be a coach or whatever. Um, you step in because you know that, so you step in and you pay for that, you sponsor that, just things like that, right? It goes a long way. So try to follow them on Instagram, tag them in posts, stuff like that. Get to know them. It goes a long way. Okay, number 15, be transparent. I was speaking yesterday at the church, and I said there's one thing every single person has in common, and that's struggle. Everybody struggles. You might just be working with different zeros, whether it be more followers, more influence, more money. Everybody can relate to struggle. Everybody can relate to pain. Not everybody can relate to specifically maybe external struggle, but everybody can relate to personal struggle within themselves. Everybody has looked into the mirror at some point in their life, every single person, and not been satisfied with what they see externally or internally. So my point here is pain, struggle is relatable. So be transparent. Be transparent. That you hurt too, that you feel too. Now, don't go bleed out on everybody, but if I could say it this way, show them a little blood. Show them the cost of high caliber leadership. Show them what it takes to get to that position, that place. Show them the price, and don't make it about you, but also be transparent when it comes to maybe systems or wisdom. Sometimes high caliber leaders, I've seen this, they kind of hold the wisdom and they don't want to give any of it away. They don't want to let anybody else in. They want it to be all like a mystery. And I get it. You can't share everything with everybody. But my point is open up as much as you're able to. As much as you're able to, open up. Be transparent. Be honest. We used to have a culture in an organization that I used to work for. We called it a hot culture. Honest, open, transparent. Man, companies thrive on transparency, on honesty, leadership, relationships rather. And that if relationships thrive, within an organization, then the whole thing has a great potential to thrive as well. So be transparent, open up, share struggles, share systems, share what you're able to share. It goes a long way, and it means them. And it also communicates to them, again, that you trust them to steward this information well. Amen. All right. We don't have any questions today. Mike doesn't have any questions today. I'm sure he does. But for recording's sake, we'll go ahead and wrap this up. Again, I want to let you know about um, my website, more info on that. If you need anything, I'm here to serve you. Please reach out. Please take advantage of the Slack channel. I want this to be not just a monologue type thing. I want to cultivate dialogue. I want there to be community amongst all of us. And so leaders need each other. Leadership has a great potential to be just a lonely road. And if I could do anything about it, I'm going to do it. So take advantage of Slack. If you have my personal number, please text me. Let me know how I can serve you this week. Hey, God bless you. Have a wonderful, fulfilled, and productive week. We'll see you soon.